We are live. How is everybody on this Friday? Who all do we have in here? We had Unfinished Project and Lars, the two gatekeepers at the moat. They were here first. We've got Dean Stevenson, Mohawk 62, JB's Little Shop. Dean says, imagine if a foreigner invaded a legitimate, peaceful, righteous, and pious voting process. How would that make y'all feel? I said, like it's 2020. Mohawk is here, mostly old Partron Ward, the voice of the No Name Nationals. How you doing, good sir? Justin Hill, all the way from Idaho. We got Colleen Mama M3 in here. Part of my, 1% female audience, maybe? Let's see. Dust Devil Garage Brian. Hey, Dust Devil Brian, I'm glad you're here. You have 3 hours and 57 and a half minutes to get that shirt if you want one. And for those who are here, last call for these. The link is pinned at the top. It closes at midnight, and when they're gone, they're gone. So if you want one, better get your order in. Graham Pito Vic, how's it going? The newest to cross the 500 threshold this past week. Congratulations to him. Unfinished Project says exhibition fight. The highlights will be good enough for me. Yeah, so right now, I'm sure they're not anywhere near the ring or any of that, but Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight tonight, and I'm pulling for Tyson. We'll see what happens. I mean, there's no losers in that considering the money they're going to make, but whatever. Unfinished Project says it's dinner time. Frizzell Racing says multitasking. Hey, folks. Thanks for swinging by, Mr. Bobby Frizzell. Lovejoy's here, coming live from my garage where we're attempting to unstick a 300. Okay, cool. 300 Ford Inline 6. Buffdale Campo, Sean O'Brien, LSS Drone Photography. By the way, I'm going to put up the link to LSS Drone Photography. He is doing pics and or video. I just need some overhead footage of a property I'm listing, and we're doing that tomorrow. So I'll put something on my community tab. But check him out. Check him out. Some neat stuff on there. You get to see a nice flyover Lane Stadium. I was looking at that before the live. Turbo Tom 416. Yeah, welcome him. Who knows? Maybe he'll enjoy what we do so much in Sykes and he'll want to come out there and fly a drone. It is a lot of fun. It's worth coming from anywhere. Tony's Hot Rod Garage, who goes on live after us tonight. So you can, if you want to procrastinate on your shirt for the last minute, when we hand off here, you can go over there. Danny Boyd's excellent intro. As always, I give credit because that's Lars. Lars put that together. So until I have my permanent one done for this channel, I got that as a placeholder just because it's kind of cool. Sean O'Brien's been driving the car, turning the jets all night. Lots of fun. Okay. Well, sounds like it. Grand Pito Vic says, hit the like button, please. Very cool. Thank you. Rob's Rods and Streetcars. Rob, how many days is it till Halloween? My Aunt Nancy is here. Junkyard D. Joe is here. Oh, my gosh. Joe is here at 8:05 Eastern Time. Gosh. Dust Devil Garage says orange paper. Brian, there's been orange paper there. There's never not been orange paper there, but now it has a number on it. I mean, maybe I just like the 308 Winchester caliber. There's my mom greeting her sister. Isn't that cool? J-Bo is here. Heavens Mopar Scott. He says Idaho is here. Yes, is Idaho represented? There's always Idaho represented by somebody here too. You or Landon or Barrows. My mom has 2 channel shirts, 2. The No Name Nationals and Joe's. She is the female. That's right. There's only like 4 or 5 women that watch this channel out of 2,750 subscribers. Fart Sack Jack. Yeah, where did I see you? Where did I see you? You were somewhere. Buff and Kim's live or something like that. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with that fight, but it's interesting. So anybody who wants to put spoilers in the chat, go ahead. I don't have any problem just watching the highlights from that. I think Tyson's 58. I'm thinking he was born in 65. So he's 58 and that's 59 sometime this year. So yeah, it might be 59. Or he was born in 66. So he is 58. Sean O'Brien has blown 6 glass fuses so far. Because nothing's happening, then I do something, that's when it pops. I bet you have a wire skinned and just the vibration causes it to intermittently hit against something metal. That's usually what causes that. I had a Cub Cadet doing that one time, and a mouse had chewed the wire of the ignition. And it was hard to find because it took the vibration of the engine for it to find. Exactly. That's what I was thinking. That's where I thought. So that name, it's not many people with a name like that. So. And there is the link for LSS Drone Photography. So welcome him. Glad you're here. Yeah, neat stuff. I think it's neat. It's not an automotive channel at all, but it's cool stuff. Levi is here. Tyson is close. Yeah. I can call that old. Mike Tyson, fun fact, will always be older than me. Yeah, Ford 300, right? Yeah, Rob subscribed. Yeah, check it out. So the stadium you'll see in that video, the Flyover Stadium, that's Virginia Tech Stadium, if you want to see it, which last I knew the official number was 66,233. And if you look 4 rows back on the west side, closer to the south end, you can sit where I would sit for years. I sat there for 22 years. Sykeston, Missouri is not super far from me. No, it's close enough for anyone. We have people come from all over the country. Hello, Levi. I'm Tyson. You're the young white kid. Gosh. Oh, man, Levi, you get roughed up in this chat. You like that, Dallas? I'm working on a permanent intro. That's Lars. I use it as a placeholder with permission. He's kind enough to let me use it as a placeholder. But when I make the permanent one, the T-Bird's got to be in there. So that's kind of a wintertime project. Ron is taking Gladys out tomorrow. Should be a good time. Well, gosh, how do you not have a good time when you're driving a 69 Roadrunner, right? Pure Pontiac Garage is here. Dash and rear running lights are likely on the same circuit and a bad fuse. Stereo installs are the biggest blowers that fuse. Stereo installs are, you know what, car stereo installers are to cars, what HVAC installers are to houses. Usually there's nothing good that comes from any of the install. Whatever Levi says here. Joe, you wish you were Tyson. I'm telling you, Levi, you're in the deep end of the pool with Joe. That's right. Yeah. Joe greeting everyone. We've got Rabbit Transit J here. NSB Custom Cars. Is there a link to NNN swag? In the description of this video, there are individual links to all of the swag. Or you can go to nonamenationals.com, either one, but there's links to it down below too, either way. You can get your t-shirts. Oh, if you want this shirt, and since we got a good number in here right now, if you want this shirt, the Money Fame Community shirt that sold out in 15 minutes, the No Name Nationals, if you want this shirt, last call. Ordering closes in 3 hours, 49 minutes. And the link is pinned at the top, gunslingergraphics.com. And there's actually an orange countdown clock like that one on Tony's shop's website there. So that's it. He shuts it down at midnight. You do not have much time. I know a lot of people ask about those shirts, Brian. You're one of them. Mr. Rodder says 308 days till I hug my family again and we hurt some feelings. Yeah, Dallas doesn't come to play. Dallas, he comes to take home some hardware and make some people know. JB says Mike in the first 3 rounds. I say if it's going to be Mike, it's going to have to be in the first 3 rounds. We'll see. That's the deal. Sarah Canadian Diesel, how's it going on? You know, it's interesting because I saw Sarah Canadian Diesel in Buff and Kim's chat, and you know, it's interesting because he knows a lot about transmissions. You can tell he's built a lot of them, but it's like the 904 is like my specialty thing, right? Like, you know, who has 904 governors just like sitting on their table, right? So it's interesting. So Sarah and I, we may collaborate on a transmission live refresh sometime, because Kim wanted to do that, go through a Torqueflite, like we said we would do something like that, go live and build it together. Either Jake Paul's going to be accused of beating up an old man, or Jake Paul's going to be accused of beating by an old man. Yeah, he really can't win that one. But I mean, what's the shame in losing to Mike Tyson? I mean, my only shame in losing to Mike Tyson is it means I left the house unarmed. That would be on me. But I'm not going to pick a fight with Mike Tyson. Ron wants to know if NSB got cleaned up from the hurricanes. Boy, those guys, all the bad weather in the universe seems to find its way to them. Andrew Nelson says, good evening from Team Nivlak 57. HVAC guys, the shadiest guys too. Yeah, well, maybe. They always have one guy on the crew who can slither through a single cinder block hole. Apparently that's a good paying job on those crews if you can fit through a single cinder block hole, because it means you can get through the vents and crawl spaces and between the rafters and studs in an attic and all that stuff. Stuff that I could not do in 1,000 years with a cannon behind me. Andrew, I'm glad you're here, sir. I need that shirt. Gunslingergraphics.com. Link is pinned at the top. It's a cool shirt. I once had a rather prolific YouTuber say one time, there are 2 reasons that people get into YouTube, money or fame. And I found it moderately offensive because that's not the reason I'm in YouTube. So that's what that shirt's all about. Levi hopes he built the engine strong enough to withstand the abuse I'm about to throw down. Right on. Just don't blow it up in July or August. We want to see you. We want to see you throw down a 5 in Sykeston. According to ET a mile per hour, we're going to be in the 4 digits. Oh, so you're going to run like a 10 or 11 second 1/8 mile? Lofty. Mostly old parts. As I found an 87 Dakota with a 318 for $1,200. Oh man, cool. Yeah, that's neat. I like that. That's really cool. You say with a manual transmission, are you going to run that, whatever that 5-speed was that came in the Dakota? Or do something like an 833? Losing to Mike Tyson is losing an ear. Can't afford to lose an ear. We might have 2 of them, but we don't listen enough as people, so. Danny Boyd's my birthday is the same as Mike Tyson's month, day, and year. I'll fight Mike Tyson for a couple of million. I don't want brain damage. He could literally kill someone. That old dude is still, he can really punch. Lars is here somewhere. I didn't go to the show, but I'm part of the NM family now. Yes, indeed. Well, the shirt is just about, what are you in it for, right? Are you in it for money? Are you in it for fame? Or are you in it for community? We're in it for what I would say, I think, are the right reasons. The reasons YouTube was started. If anyone is looking for a job, my job is up in the Orlando area, professional grease monkey working on tire changers. Cool. It's a cool job. You got to be in Orlando to have it. Down to the zeros. So you're born the same minute as he? Tube decides who will stay and who will go. I'm actually running a T5. Okay. Okay, wow. I want to see mostly old parts wrong Ward rowing gears. You know he can. That's horsepower there, Wilburn. Cool. Blow stuff up. 4 digits, nice. You're gonna run a 599. We'll see what happens. And 4 digits on the horsepower, that I can see. I can see you clear 1,000. A huge hair dryer. Great friends and families why I'm here. Yeah, community, exactly. If Tyson loses its rig, I don't know. I'm thinking if Paul can stay away from him enough to get him tired, it's always gonna have a chance. He better not try to stand up with Tyson in the early rounds, especially. He will get knocked into next Thursday if he tries that. Yeah, Ron doesn't roll gears. He bangs gears. That's right. You don't need no stinking clutch. But Levi, you kill stuff anyway. Just have fun. 308. What did I miss? I don't know. What did you miss? You're even older than him because he was born in 66. Okay. Stay away from Tyson. Let him wear it. I agree. I agree. 116 in the eighth computes to 590. Maybe. That's pretty close. Went a 610 at 116. Yeah. Dylan Levi equals a parts destroyer. Yes, he does. Levi likes to blow stuff up. And Connor has resorted to lighting the motor on fire. Dylan does to LS combinations what Tyson's going to do to Jake Paul. I can see that. Rejoice in the fact you could probably beat Mike Tyson in a drag race. Yeah, well, when I was at Frank Hawley's, he told us that he's done studies on the reaction times of people and some of the fast twitch muscle fibers and stuff, and says usually your reaction times and all only decline a little tiny bit over time when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, some people as late as 70. But then after that, it goes really fast. You don't lose it in a straight line. It's not like somebody who's 20 is twice as fast as somebody who's 50. You lose only a little over time, but then it goes off pretty quickly near the end. Well, punching power, from what I read, is kind of like that too. And so Tyson still has an enormous amount of punching power at 60 years old. He probably won't have, 2/3 as much at 70, but he still has most of his punching power at 60 that he had at, say, 40. Sure, he's not as strong as he was when he was 30, 35 years old, but he still can knock a guy's head clean out in the alley. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's a community here. This is probably the biggest hole, fishing hole where people hang out who are part of the No Name Nationals. This event right here, and yeah, we welcome new people to come in here and hang out. It's great. It's a lot of fun. This is what we do on Fridays. Some YouTuber says New York is burning. For the most part, let it. I think Manhattan needs some urban renewal. Upstate's okay. If you can hit hard, it doesn't take time. This is true. LSS has a drone. It's an FPV. I've gotten it up to 75 miles an hour. Wow. Vision degradation follows a similar curve. Yeah, maybe. I mean, my vision's not all that great, but I can still pass the DMV vision test. And the most important thing, I can still see my front sight. As long as I can see that with good focus, I'm good. I couldn't see the targets 10 years ago, but I can see the sight. That's all that matters. Levi's car weighs 3740. It's no lightweight. It's not all that heavy. It's still 2 people lighter than Andy's truck. Ron's got the subtitles on Levi's next explosion. Levi is the reason that we're renaming the worst oil down to biggest kaboom. Because for 2 years now, you guys have been so good about not oiling down the track that we've hardly had any oil down. I mean, gosh, Blake won it for a valve cover leak, and then when Joe won it for a transmission vent leak, I'm like, okay, this is crazy. So we're going to rename it to biggest kaboom because Levi stuck a rod through the windage tray, but because it didn't go through the oil pan, he didn't have an oil down. He did win the best pit thrash though, but still, we need to make the award more representative of what it's for. $38? I don't know. Ask Ray. I haven't drawn a single bead since the onset of my reading glass stage in life. Okay. I'm going to have a spare engine this year. Sounds like a plan. So one thing I'm wanting to do for this next year, No Name Nationals, it needs to. Oh, wait a minute! The boss is here. And Brooke Clark says the amount of money he spent on that car this year was enough for a good engagement ring, if you ask me. I'm going to leave that up there to marinate for you, Levi, so that you can't pretend you didn't see it. Anyway, Andrew says 890-ish to crank 755 at the wheel. Jewelry is overrated. Brooke, indeed. Yeah, thanks for coming by. She heard about Levi spending money and had to duck in here and set him straight. You can't drive an engagement ring to the store when your truck breaks down. This is true. Brooke Love isn't about money. No, but come on. I mean, she deserves to have a nice ring. I think that'd be a good thing for Levi to do. We might even put something together for that later in the year. How about that? We might even do something like that. Exactly. I've given Levi my 3 cents on that. He's a good dude. Old McDonald says, I'm pulling for Tyson to represent us old guys. I want Tyson to win. Dean, you're not shadow banned. Go to live chat. If you got top chat, click on the top on live chat. I recommend that to anybody because YouTube's got these goofy filters and will block comments for the craziest of reasons. I think live chat should be the default. And here comes Colleen trying to scare her. I get it. Most of the old parts wrong. Ward says we're almost done with the customer's truck this week. A customer, boy, that's a winner. When you call a customer a customer. We're almost done with the customer's truck this week until he came up with a barrage of other stuff to do while it's here. Oh man. He while it's there you to death. What should I tell my other customers that were next up? I think you should tell the $20 you to death guy to roll his truck out and say, bring it back. Or just tell your other customers your copy machine is out of order. How about that? If they're old enough to believe that, it'll work. Dallas has no dog in Brooke and Dylan's fight. I had to unring to go racing. Now, I think you made a good deal, Dallas. Yeah, if Dylan was running a Mopar, he wouldn't need to spare anything to win. See, that's the unspoken truth right there. Indirect Jason says he met his wife in 1986 in the 4th grade. We got married in 2013. Us guys procrastinate sometimes. Colleen is just trying to be the sensible appraiser. Cool, man. I'm glad you enjoy the shirt. Yeah, it's who we are. I use my fax machine as a copier. Gosh, that's like one step above tractor feed paper, Ron. That's dinosaur by my standards. 38 racing while it's there and since you whatever. I hate both. Yeah. Yes. A Mopar engine with grenade with my turbo. Utter nonsense. Why don't you put a 3rd gen Hemi in that thing so you can spend your time at the No Name Nationals having fun and racing instead of working on it? 3rd gen Hemi would love that. I agree, Scott, but again, I'm just over here on the sidelines. Dean's been married 34 years. Is that New Zealand years? Is that like dog years? Or is that like 34 actual years? Jason says it was an upgrade over rubbing a crayon on the side to get an image transfer. There's Danny Boyd with his expected cynicism. These good time garages. It took me about 5 years to convince Mrs. T she wanted to be married to me. Good for you. Man, you're one of the nicest people we know, too. There's no hope for those of us who are jerks. JV says, Lars and I are going to start buying junk engines and build them. Get your order in soon. That sounds like fun. Are you going to do deck repairs and start welding up decks? I got an idea. While you're welding up the deck, why don't you start converting 302 blocks into 351 and just 3D print some height on the deck? Here you go. And just fix stone hone that thing for ring travel and all. A few 454s, let's hope. Yeah, I really like the 454. I think it's a great engine. And truthfully, that's what Chrysler should have done, like the ball stud Hemi. They should have done a canted valve big block to replace all three, the two displacements. That ball stud Hemi was ideal, and it's so much like the big block Chevy. That's what should have happened. And instead, they canned the whole program and went to small blocks. That was a bummer. "38 race. I know enough not to give an opinion." Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of like the guy just standing on the breezeway watching the fight down on the street. I don't know anything about it, but it's interesting. Any 454 is worth saving? LLC. Yeah, that's right. You should call it 220 Motors LLC. Turbo Tom said it took him 3 days. Good for you. Andrew Nelson has known Mrs. Nelson, Miss Paula, for 41 years. Wow. It's wild what this chat gets sidetracked on occasionally. It's always interesting. Two Hacks Jeff in the chat. How's it going, my man? That intro that I have up there, Jeff, it has your dragster, so if you've seen it, you're in it. Levi says, I know why my motor blew up at No Name Nationals last year. It didn't have lithium grease on the rod bearings. That is correct. T says 18 years total, and she still says she likes me. That's a huge deal. That's a huge deal. And the winner's intake. I don't care if Edelbrock makes more power. That's kind of like running a wind when the Edelbrock makes more power. One-Eyed Cat Dawn is here. He says, hello on this Friday evening. It's official, I see. How do you know that's not just my favorite rifle caliber? Because actually it is. I got a couple calibers I like. The worst thing about a 308, a Remington 700 with a 308, is you got to hear from all these Creedmoor guys. Jeez. My dad carried a 308 for years. If you're a good marksman, I mean, you're just fine. You do your holdover right, you're just fine. And that shoots flat is utter nonsense. Nothing shoots flat. It would have to defy physics to shoot flat. It just has less drop over that distance because the slug is smaller and has more velocity. Jones be the next Magnum PI. I don't know where you get that. Although I do need a Hawaiian shirt. I should wear a Hawaiian shirt. Dallas says 308 cubic inches, the small block Buick engine I built called Jack the Giant Killer. Yeah, right. That was really cool. Excuse me. Dallas has built some cool stuff, and he's building something cool now. His EZ302. I'm excited to see how that turns out. He's been working on that a long time. And he's got something else really cool in the works. Don't know if he said anything about it yet. And I don't know if he wants to, but I guess he can talk about that on a Wednesday. But he's got something really cool up his sleeve coming soon. So if you're not subscribed to Mr. Rotter's Neighborhood, you might want to keep tabs on it. We were talking about it yesterday, so I'll have to see it. Yeah, Jeff, I got an intro. I'm working on a permanent intro for this channel. I'm using one that Lars had that I was supposed to use before it was even on his channel. And now I just kind of have it there, but I'm working on a permanent one. But I want to keep your dragster in it. I'm going to do some trimming and whatnot, but it'll be cool. And by the way, how you doing? Wrong English. The only flat trajectory is zero gravity. Right. There is no such thing as shoots flat. There's a link to Mr. Rotter's Neighborhood if you need it. I can't assume everybody in here is subscribed to Dallas, but if you're not, check him out. He ran into piston to head clearance issues on the EZ302. Got to pull the heads and clearance the pistons. Yep, well, better than not doing it. Mohawk, I have no problem believing that. Hey, Levi, you want it. What are you talking about? Yeah, no kidding, Danny Boyd. That engine's going to be cool. Everyone's in on it. You need some valve release pistons. That's right. And people who listen to this show after the fact instead of watching it live, they're like, oh man, Wilburn thinks it's released too? No, I don't. But there's one YouTuber you can argue with for eternity that it is, he will never concede that it's valve relief. Burnouts and bell bottoms. What a great channel name. Hi all, I'm new to the community. Love going to drag race events and car shows. Enjoying the content and live streams. Well, welcome. Glad you're here. Burnouts and bell bottoms. Exactly. That's what drag racing needs more of right there. Dallas is trying to get all the compression. Yes. 22 250 is my favorite. Of course you like a weird caliber like that. I'm a simple guy when it comes to caliber. Like, you need a 5.56 or a 7.62, right? That's your, 1 to 300 or 400, right? You need your 308 to reach out 500 to 1,000. You need your 9mm for up close, and you need a 12 gauge when you just need to take a chunk out of something. And other than that, I mean, what else do you really need? I'm just simple like that. Oh, McDonald says, I miss wearing bell bottoms. Well, bell bottoms look great unless if you look like me, they don't. I mean, there's a weight limit on bell bottoms. Your weight has got to start with a 1 if you're going to wear bell bottoms. What must I do to be a member of Rich's channel again? Oh, I have no idea. NSB says they're putting a 17 HMR into a 5.56 case that shoots at 4,600. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm sure somebody would do that. That's pretty wild. I don't know. I wonder what the pressure is on that. I mean, I know it's a lightweight slug, but I mean, that's one where you put a laser hole through something and doesn't even know it's been shot for a while. Levi says, I can say the 6-liter that was swapped into the car at No Name Nationals will live as an NA motor for 2026. Need to get one more part to start the build. Well, that's cool. The Vortec head has a different shaped chamber, same CC, different shape. Can reshape the dome. Okay. Jeff had a 338 Lapua Magnum and a 50 caliber for summer. Great rifles, expensive. Yeah, what were you trying to do? Shoot a tank in half? Those are pretty stout, both of them. Everyone needs to have bell bottoms for the burnout competition next year. Go for it. I think bell bottoms are cool. But, I mean, yeah, there's kind of a limit as to they don't look good on everybody. There's a lot of things like that. Weight starts at 1 on each leg. Yeah, I guess you're right. Unfinished Project is giving us an update on the end of his dinner and beginning of his shower. Okay, thank you for the update. LSS is diving out. Thanks for hospitality, he says. Well, hey, thanks for joining us. Come back any Friday. We'll be here. Old McDonald says, I also miss cutoff jeans made into shorts, a.k.a. jorts. Yeah. I like the ones that were purpose-built, but I'll tell you, they kind of became an old man at the car show thing. I haven't worn them in years. I wear jeans on the beach, so. Mr. Rotter says, I'm not going to have bell bottoms. I'm only going to have a frame. Good. LSS says, I'm going to watch the rest of the fight. They got some no-names on. Well, cool. We resemble that remark. They always look better on the ladies. Agreed. I never really thought that as much of a men's fashion, but old McDonald says he misses the jeans cut off into shorts. I remember my dad every year would make a pair of those from his worst pair of jeans to go to the beach. You just snip them off. Mr. Rotter says, I was in the Navy when we had dungarees, which are bell-bottom pants. Okay. Twisted Mopar Garage wants a nice banana split, is saying. Go for it. Jeff says, I think someone needs a channel called Mutton Chops and Muscle Cars. Bring the 70s street rat look back in fashion. I could have had that channel in the early 90s. You know, I had the sideburns down here, driving a 70 swinger. Yeah. Stone Cold Steve Austin wore jorts. Yeah, well, okay. And it takes a pretty high BAC to wear them. That's right. Dart Sport. Yes, indeed. So looking at my sad old Dart Sport out there today. All my stuff looks late 60s, early 70s. Yes. Danny Boyd says, make leisure suits great again. Correct. Bruce says, I'm getting gray. Next will be white, and I welcome you to the club. I actually asked my barber what percent I am. I said, tell me when I tip over 50%, and I'll change it to DMV. He says, I'm about 55-45. He says, I got a little more time left in me. Thanks for joining us, by the way. Appreciate you coming by. Bruce, who is soon celebrating a birthday. Dean says, ravishing Rick Rude trousers. No one here. Lori says, hi. Hi, Lori. '70s style 63 in the works. Yes, indeed. Looking forward to seeing that car a lot, actually. I want to see that. That'll be nice. See, Thumper was cruising around the pits in his blown Le Mans. So we always need to have every year at No Name Nationals at least one blower car that will just kind of circle the pits. Very nice, soothing, background noise. There's nothing quite like blower surge. Mr. Rodder says, go ahead and let them know about my project car. I mentioned a bit on Wednesday. Yeah, Dallas, I'm sure we'll talk about this more on Wednesday. But he has what is it, Dallas? It's a 70-ish. It's a late model Buick Riviera frame. So it's the same X frame they put in the all the way back to about 58. Like that 58 Chevrolet, 59 Chevrolets that Racer Ray has. It's that frame, but it has better brakes and such. And Dallas is thinking of running that like a go-kart with no body. Yes, Bruce mentioned that. Lori owns the florist in Floyd. So if you want to do something with flowers in Floyd County, that's who you need to talk with right there. Maybe we can put up a community post for her. Frizzell says my 63 will be there this year. Right on. Yeah, looking forward to that. That'll be great. That'll be great. I'm wanting to put together some match races. And I'm thinking, and again, we'll announce the event on the 27th of December. But I'm thinking instead of doing a 28-10-5 class, we'll put together some match races. And they'll all be, quicker cars. But your car reminds me of that because I just want some cool stuff, some cool matches. And we'll put a bounty on them to win 2 out of 3. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Blue Ridge Florist and Gifts. And now I'm out of here. Got to go practice. What are you playing, Bruce? What are you practicing? Bruce plays clarinet and saxophone. What are you practicing, man? You need a Telecaster in Floyd County? Floyd is 1 county over for me. Andrew says, can't believe we're putting antifreeze in already. Yeah, if you're doing it, I need to be doing it soon. Guitar. I don't know how many instruments Bruce plays. He's a talented guy. And a talented writer, as you can tell. Proper grammar and composition and spelling. for a solo with the local orchestra center. I've heard you play in December. I think it was the Unitarian Church. I may come back out for that. Remind me when that is. Remind me when that is. That was good. Tony put antifreeze in a month ago. Yeah, he's in Arizona, but he's way up in the high desert. Clarinet, sax, and others I won't admit to. Right. Right. Okay, that's a good combo. The last musical instrument Jason could play is the Tony. I don't even know what that is. Down with some grudge hits. I can't hang with the killers. Yeah, but that's the thing. I'm thinking some match racing with some quicker cars. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And Twisted Mopar said, anyone heard anything from Redbeard as to how Venom's coming along? No, but surely he'll have Venom together for 2025. And I already know, I think I'd like to put together a match race with he and someone else. I've already talked to the other guy. I think we could make that one happen. And it'll be a good one. Because the other guy has already put a 4 on the scoreboard. And Venom is not all that far off. I'm Bruce afraid to ask what it is. Yeah, that's terrifying. Andy says 308 days. I see September 19th. Howdy, folks. Look at Andy mathing like a champ. Indirection says we had him in the 3rd or 4th grade. It was a cheap plastic horn with 3 notes. Okay, cool. I can't carry a tune in a wheelbarrow. Later, Bruce. Thanks for swinging by. We appreciate you. This is a great meeting spot. This is a club that doesn't serve alcohol right here. Andianapolis, yeah. Guess he's like his own city. Andy, glad you're here. What's your off season looking like, man? You don't have much of an off season because you're usually right there at Shady Side the first week of February. You don't have much of an off season. Andrew Nelson says, we don't have anything for the fast guys, but we can drive 1,000 miles in a week. I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I think you could do both. And like I said, I'm thinking this year, Andrew, match racing for the quicker cars. When I say the quicker cars, I'm just thinking get some parity. And I think it would absolutely be great to have you guys doing a match race. I just want to put them together judiciously. There got to be people who will show up. And you guys are reliable folks. And so, I want to put match races together. Got to be people who've been there before a time or 2 or 3. Levi's wanting to do the Midwest drive and drag. Shady Side never closes unless it's less than 50 degrees. Well, see, that's funny because a lot of these guys live in places where, what do you mean? It's under 50 for 4 months, 5 months out of the year. Yeah, there's a whole lot of ways you can do that. I know, I get it, but I really want to see the event have that same kind of spirit that we saw more of the first 2 years. So I'm thinking some good match racing is going to be where it's at. I mean, I sure did enjoy that match race between Just Mopar Joe and Lee. I thought that was a great match race. Dallas and Professor P, Dallas and Barkley, and I think Dallas and P will make a good match race too. But those are just some good races. Dallas and Barkley split their best of 3. So, these match races are exciting. They're fun. Yeah, Jess says I'm absolutely up for match races, and that's entirely possible. So we could see that. We could see maybe a match race that dragster maybe. That might be a good match race. We can think about it. We'll see. This is that time of year. That part of the planning is going on. We got the date figured out. That was a big one. Frizzell says, let's just shove an engine transmission in and let's go. Colleen says 42 for the low tonight there in South Carolina. Midwest Dragon Drive usually hosted by Cletus. Okay. Heads up class at Shady Side for trucks. Cool. Cool. Sounds like that's right up your alley, Andy. Shady Side is in Shelby, North Carolina, which, if memory serves, is west of that Charlotte area. Boiling Springs, North Carolina. Yeah. It's never in the town on the address. Never. No track is. The only one that I know of that actually is Farmington Dragway is actually in Farmington, North Carolina. But that's not where its address is. Its address is Moxville. I guess Farmington even has a post office. Bigfoot's and Mopar says, Joe dodged him 2 years in a row. Well, I'll tell you what, Joe's going to fill your order. I think you dodged him. You didn't bring your car. Yeah, for Zell said tracks never close it. Yeah. Two Hack says match races need long burnouts, dry hops, and backup girls. Just saying. Yeah. Yeah, make it 70s style. That's cool. How's a match race different from a call out? Well, a match race is a little bit different. Like you'll promote it ahead of time. And it'll just be one you put together. It could come from a call out, sure could. But typically you would do it as a 2 out of 3 and probably raise a little money for the winner. So it's a little different than a call. It's a little bit more formal than a call out. How about that? And we also look for parity. So, I mean, Joe and Levi might not be a bad match race. Levi says, if I get the ramp truck done before the end of winter, I have a lot of vacation time left in North Carolina's on the list. Okay. North Carolina's not even an hour drive from here. Darlington Dragway too? Yeah. Yeah, that's a cool place. That's right. Levi does have a backup girl. I'm the only backup girl at the No Name Nationals. I don't know what answer that was, Ron. That was a bunch of comments ago, but you're welcome. Dean is a massive Crown Vic fan, especially with the Godzilla in it. That certainly sounds cool. Twisted Mopar's asking if Tony's going live tonight. Yes, Tony's Hot Rod Garage will be live right after this. And since we're near the top of the hour, I will mention it. Last call for these Gunslinger Graphics. Good Money Fame Community shirts. You have, by my math, 3 hours and 4 minutes to place your order, and then it closes forever for good. Those are cool shirts. They sold out in 15 minutes at Donate National. So we knew we needed to do another run. Match races are planned. Yes, they should be. I think match races are fun. Put my order in today. Yep. And the proceeds on the shirt goes into the No Name Nationals General Fund for whatever that's worth. The proceeds do go to the event. I never have any aspirations of even trying to make money with the event. If the event nets a profit, that's good because it'll stay in the event. And we'll just do more stuff with it. I can already think of things I'll do. If I have 100 pre-registrations by Memorial Day, I have some things I want to do. If I have 150, I got more things I want to do. And that's kind of how it goes. Fun Safe pays for itself. It's done that for 3 years. But if we can get it to start making a little bit of surplus, that's going to be good. It's going to be good for the event. And it gives us a little bit of a hedge in case of rain, in case the rain takes the gate down. So the event needs to have a little bit of a nest egg, and we'll keep some of it for that and use some of it to make the event as good as we possibly can. Oh, the answer was about match races compared to a call out spectrum. Yeah, well, do all the call outs you want. I think some people, like for example, Just Mopar Joe is a really good example. Everybody and their brother calls out Just Mopar Joe. Everybody, right? Like Joe gets 20 call outs, a no name nationals. It's to the point where he can't physically run everybody. He just can't. He runs the bracket. He has run small tire a couple of times. For him, it's probably more practical to just set up a match ahead of time. But he's a good example of why matches might work better for him than all of the call outs. We need an upside down shirt for Dean. Yeah, dead serious. Tony, if you're in here, if Dean orders one of those shirts, you've got to print it upside down. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, Dean must be talking about an altered wheelbase. 15 inches to front. Actually, it's 10 to the front wheel and 15 to the rear. So it's a 5-inch shorter wheelbase. The front goes forward 10, the rear goes forward 15. I can do that. Yeah, for real. I'm not even kidding. If Dean gets a shirt, he needs his to be printed upside down. And then we need a picture of him wearing it. Happy belated birthday to B&R. Cool. Happy birthday, Brian. Wait, I got it backwards. How'd that happen? Because you're upside down. That's why you saw it backwards. 307 days to get a dart sport running. Yes. 307 days and 3 hours and 1 minute to be exact. Exactly. Exactly. Jinx, maybe. Yeah, this is the biggest number that has ever been on the orange paper, ever. It usually starts on the order of 265. This is the biggest number that's ever been on the orange paper. You cannot say you do not have enough days right now. Somebody remember this. When somebody says, man, I don't know, it's after Labor Day and I still got to put all this stuff together. Well, I'm telling you right now, it's 308 days. If you go nibble on a project 1 hour a day for 308 days, you know how much work that is? The people who win this thing never look like they're thrashing. They just work on it every day now. Like one-eyed cat, see? 265. Yeah, I think that's the biggest number I've ever had back there is 265. And so now we've got the dates earlier, and that's part of that is because the track is getting their schedule together earlier. Now that the Skelton family has it, that's part of it. Then another part of it is that the other events that we try to informally work with to not overlap and such, they had their schedules up earlier this year, so we were able to get you a date earlier. We still can't get you a lot of the specifics about classes and that kind of thing. That'll still be the 27th of December. But for those of you who wanted to get vacation time and get it on your calendar as soon as possible, there it is. And we had that locked yesterday. We pretty sure we knew it was going to be about 2 weeks before that, but we had to make sure we get it locked, everything with the track. Not that they don't are awesome to work with us. They pretty much just say, hey, man, we know this is your time frame. They're great like that, but we really want to just make sure everything works out. Because remember, we had that snafu the first year. We don't want to repeat that. Looks like Scott's offering Dean a shirt. The catch is that Dean's shirt's got to be printed upside down. Brazil says, Dallas, let me know. I'm more than happy to help you get it together. Go through the transmission, whatever you need. We'll make that match race happen. Yeah, Brazil, he's a good manual transmission man. He has a good video on his channel of a really stout, purpose-built aftermarket gearbox. It looks like a top loader, but I believe it has the front engagement on the gears. You know what I'm talking about, where they do the front face on the gear engagement. It's really nice. Got a good channel, got a good video on his channel of it. Colleen will go in it with Scott. Here's the catch. It's not going to be the shirt. It's going to be the shipping. Tell you what, so I'll chip in a little bit for shipping too. Dust Devil Garage says, I always knock off 100 days if you're making a plan. Yeah. The junior nationals affected. Well, what happened was, yeah, the junior dragsters. Well, what really happened was there. I won't even get into it, but there was some scheduling snafu with the track, and it wound up being a fiasco with the junior dragsters, big junior dragster event, and so we reluctantly moved to accommodate them, but it all worked out. Everything is great, and we've since been on the third weekend of September ever since. And it's great. Everything's fine. So, but yeah, that was the first. But I think where it is in the schedule now is great. So I love it where it is. It always seems like it's right at the end of summer. Tony says, let him know if you want to ship to a different address than what's on the order. And double the budget. Yeah, you're going to need double the budget and twice the time. But what I'm telling you is, budget aside, you see the number back there. That number, I guarantee you, is not going to change. So heed the number. 308 days should work for Thumper 2. It's going to have to work for everybody. So part of turning a dream into a goal is you have to have a time frame and an action plan. And so we're giving you the time frame. You have your deadline. Your deadline is in 307 days and 2 hours and 55 minutes. Your action plan, that's up to you, but the community will help you as much as we possibly can. So, because we want to see people show up and have a great time. Max Wedge Dick Dastardly says, I'm at 312. Can get 500 now. Lots of content. You can definitely do it. Since Max Wedge Dick Dastardly has just tried every year, has moved closer to this goal, if one of our esteemed mods can put up the link to Max Wedge Dick Dastardly in the comments, it will be appreciated. This is kind of bonus time. You know, once it's the registration's open and we got a bunch of no-name 500 guys, you know, vying for this thing, I'm like, look, I got to prioritize guys who are registered, risk their ego, put their money where their mouth is. But right now is bonus time. So if you want your link put up or anything, now's the time to do it. We did a 500 live for Grand Vito Vic, and we'll do the same for Max Wedge Dick Dastardly. The One-Eyed Cat says, No Name Nationals is the best thing that happened to our car. I'll tell you what, that Valiant has come along. The first time I saw it, it was cool. It's 62 Valiant. It's cool. But, man, I looked under the hood of that thing. I looked under it. I looked in the trunk. And I'm like, my gosh, Don, I don't want to see anything bad happen to you. The car is dangerous. And I cannot believe how much he's done. So I'm so proud of Don. Gosh, he's made it so much safer and better and leak-free. And it stops and steers. Doesn't have electrical problems. And that car has transformed in the last few years. So, and passes tech like a breeze. Everything. Bad Tree Blake. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Blake and Tony both have it there. Check him out. That guy's got some cool stuff on his channel. Really does. If you want to see, you know, a Max Wedge car doing a driveway burnout out in the street, that kind of thing, check him out. Who doesn't like that? Except Hemmings. Hemmings doesn't like burnouts. Fartsack Jack says, anyone be interested in a Bridgeport turret lathe than an Inverter for 3-phase. Oh, that sounds pretty cool. Yeah, if anybody knows, let Mr. Fart Sack Jack there know. Yeah, yeah. So indirect connection says, Tony, you should add punctuation to that statement. I don't really think it helps either way, but yeah. Sketchy on many levels. Yeah, it is. But you know what? The main thing is you did it. You got it done. Mohawk has thrown in a $5 super chat for Dean's upside down shirt. Well, thank you. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll go ahead and Tony, I will pay that forward to you in gross. How about that? So I'll cover the 30% mob protection fee that Google takes from it, and I'll cover that. So $5 in gross for Dean's upside down shirt. Hey, Tony, if you don't mind, just shoot me a message about what it's actually going to cost, shipping and all, to get that to Dean. We're going to make that work. So, Dean, I know I have your address. Pretty sure I do. Yeah, I know I do. I've sent you something before. We're going to get you a shirt. Let me know what size, and we'll get you a Fame Money Community shirt. You sure give a lot of this. You give a lot to this community. We want to give back. So we're going to get you a shirt, Dean. Send me what size. We'll make it happen. Mr. Rotter's neighborhood. I clicked the Max Dick link and it's a car channel. Boo. I thought our community was better than this. No, we're not. Victor just got in from picking up the kid. Thanks for swinging by. That lathe's got to go because it's been hooked up since he bought it. The Miller lathe, it's a Bridgeport, I think he said. Half-track burnout one-eyed cat. Yeah, it's a one-wheel peel, but it may not show up that way this year. I know Don's got plans. Yeah, we got it. We're going to get a shirt to Dean. We're going to make it happen. Tony's going to work me up what that takes, so we're going to make it happen. I'll get it to you, Tony. I'll get it to you. There you go. Dean's kicking in 1999. Okay, well, cool, man. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna put it in, pay it forward in gross. So cool, fun stuff. Dean said it's okay having an IQ of only 40. Actually, if your IQ is 40, you probably are okay because you don't care. If your IQ is 40, you don't know your IQ is 40. How about that? Vic spilled Mountain Dew on his keyboard and hasn't been able to clean it yet. Oh, the best way to clean, gosh, if it's a regular, it'd be all sugary and nasty. I spilled a Diet Dr. Pepper on the keyboard once and fried it. One time I spilled it and I wound up having to take the keyboard apart and clean the whole mat and all that good stuff. And then the other time I had to replace the keyboard. One-eyed cat still has some rubber on the quarter panels from Sykeston. Yeah, cool. That's right. He was running Shane's drag radials. Power wash and hurry up. Well, I was thinking using the air hose on the keyboard is fine, but I probably would only do that if it was a diet drink or water or something, because you don't want that sticky sugar in there. If it's Diet Dr. Pepper, you'd be all right. If you rotate slicks, they last twice as long. Yeah, you should rotate them. So many passes and swap them. Dishwasher is the best way to clean a keyboard. Oh, there are some waterproof keyboards. You know, the nicest, heaviest duty keyboard I've ever seen is the one that goes with that big diagnostic tower, that Mopar diagnostic tower. That keyboard is, it is so thick and has like a big rubber coating over the keys. It's designed for these greasy hand, Neanderthals in the shop to not destroy it. No, don't even like the smell of coffee. Me neither. I think where coffee comes from has nothing to do with coffee beans or Colombia or any of that. I think every time there's like a structure fire somewhere, they just scrape it all up and drop it in the wood chipper a few different times with water until it makes a slurry, and I think that's where coffee comes from. Bad Tree Blake says if you get the Nero link, you won't have to worry about spills anymore. What is that, Blake? It's just a keyboard that's sealed or something. That sounds pretty cool. Old McDonald actually has something sensible. He says rubbing alcohol, cotton swabs, let it air dry. Yeah, that sounds quite reasonable. I'd probably use a shop towel just so you wouldn't have the lint that the cotton balls would leave. Of course, the cotton swab is going to help you reach. Tony can't get his day started without at least a half a pot. Neuralink requires an IQ over 40. Well, this is a pretty smart chat. This is pretty intelligent people here. I think everyone here is well over an IQ of 40. Coffee is God's juice. It's blasphemy. Okay. BNR loves coffee. You don't need coffee to get wired up, Brian. Tesla puts a chip in your head and sounds like crazy Star Trek stuff. I tell you, that whole Tesla thing in general is just weird to me. But they got their following. Colleen says, I only drink coffee in the winter. I have never taken a drink of coffee in my life. But I mean, I don't like the smell of it. Coffee is the perfect laxative. If you say so, more power to you. Drive an untested 62-year-old car at almost $2,000. Sounds like something I'd do. Yeah, I would have lost a bet on that car making it there and back like that. I was impressed. I was impressed. Dizzy Izzy's here. I didn't see Dizzy swinging. Oh, there's Dizzy. My Carolina Mountain Cure dog got into a fight with a big 6-point buck. Cost $6.50 to get him stitched up. Oh, yikes. I'm sorry to hear that. I got to worry about that with Jethro. He's not afraid of anything. Oh, he's afraid of the lawnmower, but he's not afraid of anything else. He jumped out of the back window one time on a 4-lane road and caught and stopped a motorcycle on the road, grabbed the front tire and stopped it. Ice cream year-round? Coffee ice cream? No, I would say, I don't like coffee ice cream. You can go for it. But ice cream year-round? Absolutely. Don, who needs your number? Don, send me a text and tell me who needs your number. How about that? Send me a text. If I don't get it right away, it's because I'm in the cellar and I don't have any reception. But I'll get it sent out eventually. Busted Radio Garage is here. Thanks for coming by, Chris. Does anyone want to help with wiring? I'll buy the pizza and the beer. Chris, if I was closer, I'd be glad to help you. I don't mind doing wiring at all. I like to run it clean and solder it and all that stuff. My buddies that have the shop in Bluefield, sometimes when they have like a burned up wiring harness or something, I've gotten to go down there and put wiring harnesses on tractors and stuff, like little garden tractors. It's fun. And I've also burned up some wire in there too. My buddy Ben and I, we all but caught a mag drill on fire one time. So probably burn up as much wiring as I've helped them change, but Max Wage Dick Dasher says, my buddy got a 9-point with a bow last week. Cool. Tony says, I enjoy wiring. Yeah. Tony's one guy I would let work on anything I have. He's really super competent like that. Does real good work. If you walk over and look at Tony's stuff at No Name Nationals, the work, it's the little things. You can just tell he does really good work. He doesn't do any work that looks like 4 o'clock on a Friday work. All of his stuff is good. Dizzy says, my uncle in Land Between the Lakes has a quarter-mile driveway. He uses his private drag strip. The private drawstring for his blown 55 Chevy. Okay. Busted Radio says, I have 3 harnesses to install. I'm hating life right now. Hey, look on the bright side. You can put all 3 harnesses in, and in 2 years, you have to replace all 3 harnesses. And then get to stagger them. Tyson isn't going to fight until 10 at the earliest. Exactly. That's why, that's why I figured that you'd have the undercard going for at least 2 hours. That's how they sell the pay-per-view. Drag strip spell check. Kind of what I figured. My wiring skills are so good, it looks like a toaster when I'm done. Yeah. Might look like it came out of a toaster when it's done, if you're not. Is Tyson on cable or free TV? I think it's on Netflix or something, I think. Our drone friend there was telling me he was going to watch it. I think it's on Netflix or something. I don't know. I'm sure we'll see the highlights from it. Yeah. Chris says, I'll be lucky to get 2 years out of any of these cars. Yeah, right. Oh, by the way, Chris, aren't you doing like a 904 for that Monza or something? Aren't you doing a 904 for a Monza? Because if you are, I really want to get in on that. Yes, the Tyson fight is tonight. Rat Rod Jason is pulling for Tyson to mop the floor. I'm pulling for Tyson too. But, either way, those guys are getting a pile of money. I just hope nobody gets hurt and they have a good time. Put on a good show. Dean says, I'm more of a drag queen kind of guy, but I don't say it too loudly. Okay. Yeah, Bad Tree Blake's got an operative there. He's got Ryan going to let him know 10 minutes. So yeah, yes, 904. Well, Chris, when you're ready to do that 904, let me know. I would like to collaborate with our friend in Lowell on it. I've already told him as much. Check it out. I'm going to do the transmission guy's equivalent of the gangsta thing with all the rings on the finger. I'm doing a little project for Cope with governors. And so if you look, they're all different weights. And man, it's hard to tell. We're talking 1.5 grams, 2 grams or so. Some of them are 10. There's difference between them, but you got to really science that stuff out to figure out what you need. Jeff says the fight will be over in less than 2 rounds. Tyson will smoke him. I say if the fight goes 3 rounds or less, Tyson's going to win. If the fight goes 4 rounds or more, Paul's going to win. That's my guess. Brazil's out. Good night, man. Thanks for joining us. Knuckle Dusters by John Wilbur. No, it's just a cool little project. Here's some stock ones right here. And these are kind of rough, but I weighed a bunch of them. And it turns out that the factory governors are pretty consistent on a certain weight. And I'll show you this. You make it like this. This is a stock Torqueflite versus a 518 governor. So if you have the bigger overdrive, it takes this governor. And I'll tell you, you can barely tell the difference. It's 60 thousandths of an inch. So you could accidentally stick a Torqueflite governor in one, but you'd have a real problem. You couldn't accidentally put a 518 governor in a Torqueflite. Anyway, it's interesting work, and it's a project that needs to get done. So we're doing it. Danny Boyd says boomers were the first softened generation. You didn't meet my dad. But yeah, I kind of agree. The generation before him were the old, you You drive a truck, or you work the mines, or you starve. It's an exhibition fight, not real. I don't know. Tell that to Jake Paul when they're picking him up off the canvas. You might see a good knockout in it. I mean, that exhibition between Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., that was just light sparring exhibition. This one with Paul, I think Tyson wants to knock him out. I think at 58 years old, he wants to show people. He wants to show Jake Paul what time it is. Do you need to raise or lower pressure with a lighter governor? The lighter governor is going to have less centrifugal force to raise your governor pressure. That's what raises the governor pressure in a transmission, and that's what causes it to shift later. We'll see. Yes, we will. They sanctioned it so everyone can bet on it. Sports betting is killing us. I was actually watching an interview with a guy that lost $500,000 in gambling over 7 years. I can't imagine having that much money to lose, much less losing that money. Blake says, Xennials like myself were terrorized by them Generation X guys. Yeah, Blake is, you're like just a few years too young to be a Gen Xer there. Yeah. So Blake is technically a millennial. But he won't own that. And I don't blame him. Diecast Dreams. Isn't a knuckle duster a gun with brass knuckles attached? It's not just brass knuckles, right? It's Brian's car. Don't blame Generation X. We never done nothing. Well, we're doing this, whatever this is. 54 of us in here just hanging out on a Friday night. I don't know. I think those guys are working that bout. They're hyping it. I think it's more of that, but who knows? I don't think that slap at the press conference was. I kind of think it's a work. But I also think that Tyson is not going to give up the chance to knock him out. Dizzy Izzy says, I'm going to do a video tomorrow putting the timing light to it. Good deal. We want to see that. Wendy wants to know the dates for the No Name Nationals. It's up there, Don. It's up there. Wendy bugs me for the dates of the No Name Nationals earlier than anyone. I'm surprised Wendy's not asking me when 2026 is right now. Busted Radio Chris says, get with me, waiting on his engines to be finished. Yeah, let me know. I still want to do that idea for a 727 for your burnout car. I really think that would be a worthwhile thing to do. And I want to see this. Let us know in the chat if you want to see this. A high gear only 727. With the reason being, it would make it more durable for the extreme abuse it sees in Chris's burnout car because it won't have a sprag. It won't have a sprag. It won't have a band. First, the band won't have strut. Won't have any of that. Won't need any of that. High gear only. And you'd set your both drums tight and run the full complement of clutches. It'd be a very strong setup because you'd be turning on direct right away. It will be a very strong setup. And with the kind of torque he makes that blower car, he is not. First and second gear will be a total liability for something making that much torque. William says, I'm definitely betting on Tyson winning by knockout. 7 rounds left on the current fight. Cool. Dean says that the 19th of September, 2025 is 308 days. So I can tell you that the 19th of September is Friday. The 18th of September is Thursday. So the 18th of September is Thursday. And then, the 19th and 20th, Friday and Saturday. Same combination as all years we've run it, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, Jeff is a technicality qualifier for Generation X. Mr. Rodder taken up for our generation. Yeah. Iron Mike said years ago, if you step on his feet, he loses it. And Jake barely stepped on his foot in the weigh-in. Okay. Could be. I'll tell you what, there's an interview, and if one of you guys can find the link to this, it's really funny. There's an interview where Tyson and his manager, and I don't know how long ago this has been, he was on some talk show, and the host was this I don't know, it was this real well-spoken black dude who was the host of some talk show. And he starts to interview Tyson about this thing he's in town for, this event. And the first thing he wants to ask Tyson is about this rape conviction. Well, Tyson did not take kindly to that. And so he let that guy have it. He took that interviewer to task. I watch that every couple of years. I'll see it come up in my feed, and I watch it just because it's so funny. Tyson did not care that the FCC finds nothing. He let it fly on live TV. I don't know what the show was or anything. If one of y'all can find that clip and put it up, it's pretty funny. You know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. The No Name Nationals Julian calendar. That's our calendar right there. Wendy just got home. Wendy, you should be excited to know we have a number on the orange paper. Be glad I didn't give it to you in Roman numerals. No neutral drops in the car. Yeah, definitely not Dawn's. Vic, I think the Mountain Dew's a cover story. Just saying. High gear only clutch flight. Clutch flights are blow up. I'm saying high gear only 727. We'll be there the 17th. Yeah, I'll be there crazy early too. I always get there. I got to be there Tuesday. 24 Tyson's 50 fights won by KO in the first round. Yeah. Well, actually, he's got more than 50 fights. I think he's 50 and 56 fights. And that doesn't count whatever he's done on the street. Levi wants to be early for No Name Nationals. Yeah, well, whenever you can get here is whenever you can get here. That's fine. We'll be there. That's right. The 18th is Jeff's birthday. So when we go to Lambert's at No Name Nationals next year, it will be Jeff's birthday. Jeff's old carcass will be, what will he be, 46? Okay, yeah. So William says, anyone in here want to buy a 65 Corvair Monza? William has that for sale, and he sent me a little bit of info on it. I've got his email, and you know what I'll do? Where are you, William? William's email's charger383mopar@yahoo.com. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and just post this. There's William's email. If you're interested in that 65 Corvair, let him know. Later, Blake. Thanks for coming by, man. I guess I'll be number 20 by now. I slacked. '20th to register. I don't know, can you? Oh, check this out. Heavens Mopar Scott's doing his Roman numerals. Yeah, so if you're interested in 65 Corvair Monza, we'd like to see it stay in the family here. So hit William up. That's at 9:30 if you want to go back and look for it. Open to trades or offers. There you go. There you go. Get creative. Yeah, you'll be 46. That's right, because you were born in 1979, youngin. Dougster says Corvair is a good car. I prefer the VW, though. I'd like to see Dougster with that Corvair. I think that'd be pretty cool. Dougster, when are you doing the CRT shift pack you won? I want to see that. You do the shift pack, then next we'll do the governor weights. '65 is the first year of the second generation. I didn't know there was two generations. I don't know much anything about the Corvair. Is registration open yet? I don't know. Is it? We'll announce the event on. We'll announce the event on December 27th, but you have a date right now. I swung by Blake's live earlier today. He was out there working on the dock. Jason says, I hope so. It took $90 from my checking. Well, what do you know? There we go. Unfinished project found it. So that's the one with him getting ill with that interviewer dude. That one makes me laugh every time. You can't watch that and not laugh. It is definitely my favorite Tyson interview ever. Dougster says, I can't fit my large Hulk in either a VW or a Corvair, so Lady Dougster will be the pilot. That's okay. Incorporate her into the channel. Bring her with you. That'll work. I wasn't going to say it, Dougster, but I was thinking if you had a Corvair, it might stick to your butt when you stood up out of it, because those are not very big cars. That's not like a full-grown man car. You gotta be a jockey to get in those things. 6th Street Garage. I think it's MMMVIII. Well, you got to get your Roman numerals right, because if you're just a little bit off, they don't work. I have a very tall friend who sat in it and he fit. Yeah, my friend Billy, driving around in an '89 Hyundai Excel, put the sunroof open and his eyes were over the roof looking through the little vent visor thing. Yeah, a really tall person, it gets interesting in some of these cars. I tend to fit in most anything. I'm not that tall. I have a short torso but long legs, so I actually need the room. I need the room leg room of a 6-footer for sure. That's my only problem is the leg room. I never have a problem with the steering wheel or the head height or any of that. Heavens Mopars is checking up that. Be glad I didn't give you guys a registration. I'm telling you what, I almost put this up here in Roman numerals. What would you have done then? I should have done that for a week. I thought about it. Don't think I didn't. Yeah, CCCVII. That's correct. That's 308. I'd love to see Mike Tyson interview Stacey Abrams. Looks like he already did with those teeth. Did I say that? Yes, I did. Dougster, there we go. M equals 1,000, C equals 100, MCM is 1,900. That's correct. Yes, sir. That is correct. You remember when the year 2000, you would see the copyright on movies, it was just MM? Max Wage Dig Dasher says, my buddy is 5 foot tops. I can't sit in his Max Wage driver's seat. The dude who does roofing for the roofing crew that I had working out there at one of my places, I don't know if he's 5 feet tall. He might be 5 feet tall. That dude, 5 feet tall, getting up on that ladder, carrying shingles. He's tough. He's a run of a guy, but he's tough. You got to be tough to be 5 feet tall on a roofing crew. Nice guy, though. He does a good job. He's conscientious. But it is kind of funny when he's got to go way up a ladder to do like soffits and stuff. I mean, the tall guys could literally stand on the ground and do soffits, and he has to go up a ladder to reach them. It's kind of funny. So I saw that. I saw he was working with a guy who was about 6'2", and they were doing a piece of soffit on my carport. And he went 2 steps up this step ladder, and the other guy was standing on the ground, and they're putting the soffit on level. I have a picture of that somewhere. It's so funny. Yeah, Barrows is saying, whoa, slow down, Sundance 308 on the orange. Did I miss it? I don't know. Did you? I told you I'd get you the date earlier this year, and I did. I sure did. We got the date earlier this year, but I'm going to announce the event and the classes and so forth on December the 27th. For those of you who are regulars here, you get things first. So for those who are just waiting for the announcements and they're not regulars here, well, they'll get it when they get it. But for you guys, you get it first. You know, I have it on good authority that some people have even tried to register already. 38 says we had to put a quick release steering wheel on the 4.3 Corvair. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Queen Victoria ruled 4/5 of the world at 4'11". Yep. Kim fixes things. Welcome. Says I am stealthy, indeed. You know, with 22 minutes to go, I'm kind of curious who's going to be 4th to register. Stick Street Garage. Hey, by the way, last week I was offering anybody who does not have any no-name national stickers. If you do not have a pair of these, let me know and I'll send them to you. You can buy them on the website, but for those of you hanging out here, if you do not have a pair of these stickers, let me know. I'll send them to you. 38 Racing. I'll be asking for time off tomorrow. They have plenty of time to whine. Yes. Unfinished project gets it. There should be a decimal in front of that. That is correct. Clayton's Toolbox coming from the north, 1,700 miles away. We hope you can make it this year, Clayton. Tony says, my guess is I'm first. Tony would be correct. 308 on the orange paper means I have 77. Jeff, you got 77 days to build and 231 to get Jimmy moving. That's what you have. Did you send the two from the other day? Yes, I did. Yes, sir. I had 5 things to mail out, and I know yours was in there. So if you didn't get them before the end of this week, maybe they'll show up Monday or Tuesday or something. But I don't have tracking on sticker envelopes, so I can't tell you. But yes, yours went out. I know how it rolls over there. Thought we couldn't register yet. I don't know, can you? I mean, 4 people already have. 5 people already have. Levi says, me too, but it went through. Yeah, so as soon as we start getting the coffers rebuilt, I'm going to have hats in the store. So last year we had hats at the No Name Nationals. We sold out, real popular. We're going to have hats in the store first of the year this year. Jason says, I'm number 2. Yes. Jason, he's got a knack for being second. Actually, he was first last year. They are using methods which have not been released yet. The main thing is that you do. And registering early helps. But yeah, 307 days and 2 hours and 17 minutes until the 4th annual AHRA No Name Nationals, which will again, of course, be in Sikeston, Missouri. Those guys were so excited to have us back. That was the first one that the Skelton family got to be there for as owners and track operators, and said they really got to see how the event worked because it's always been there and they've seen it there. But this is the first one where they participated, in a daily working role, and they love it. So they couldn't wait to have us back, and we like it there. So it works out great. That is the best crew that has ever been running that track. So it worked out just great. Charger 383 Mopar says, I'm close to driving the Red Rocket. For those of you who don't know what the Red Rocket is, that's Williams Cushman, 440 Mopar powered Cushman. I won't be able to stop it yet, but it'll drive. Okay. Sounds like most things with drum brakes. I think we will wait to make sure the weather will be okay. Yeah. In other words, NSB can never register. I really appreciate the NSB guys. Got such a dedicated crew. Barrow's Garage says he's registering now. He's on midnight shift tonight and didn't miss this. Glad you're registering. How many people we have registered already? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 registered already. We promised a registration increase for the 3rd year, and I wound up saying, I don't know when I'm going to raise it, but I'll raise it. And I just never did. So it happened this year, just a little bit. But again, I don't want to raise it any more than I have to. So let's get 150 cars pre-registered by Memorial Day. How about that? Max Wedge Dick Dastardly has an 850 Holly adapter. Cool. You have all the adapters. There's a video on Max Wedge Dick Dastardly's channel, a short, where how many spacers are you running? Have you ever seen a Max Wedge, a cross-ram car, with a huge stack of carb adapters on each side? If you've never seen that, you should check it out. Yes, Jeff, please send me a text reminding me I need to do that. And Dawn, if you're in here, send me a text reminding me who I need to send your number to. So both of you, please send me that, because I got to tell you, by the time I've read about 1,200 comments in 2 hours, I do not remember these things. So we've got multiple cars. We probably have a dozen cars registered now. 5 on each car. Yeah, I remember he had a tower of power. How many people can ever say they've seen a cross ram car with a whole bunch of adapters so the carbs go this way and that way, and he does a burnout with it with the hood up because the hood wouldn't close? That was a cool video. That is worth the sub alone right there. The cat is in. Wait for his inquiry. Max Wedge heads up the cross ram cartel. Yes, he does. So we have the Tunnel Ram Mafia, the Single Carb Syndicate, and the Cross Ram Cartel. Why don't we have the EFI Androgynous? How about that? Yeah, that can't be a thing, right? Is the rat rod coming back, Tony? Trucking the rat rod? Or are you going to switch it up on us a little bit? Maybe bring the Charger. While we have a lull, I'm wearing my 1754 political cartoon, the Join or Die Snake. So for those of you who don't know what this is, here's a nice little history lesson. With Trump in office, hopefully you won't have to raise prices and maybe your money will go farther. No, your money will go farther because you're probably going to get the gas price dropped $1 a gallon. And that will literally make a difference in people coming to the No Name Nationals or not. Dizzy says, I've seen a 61 Plymouth 413 cross ram twin turbo. Boy, there's a guy that just said yes, please to all of it. I should do a cross ram cartel shirt. Yes, you should. Max Wedge Dick Dastardly is your poster child. Did I get 13? Oh, man, we got a lot of people registering. Unfinished Project just registered. Barrows registered. Gosh. I wasn't even going to say registration was open. And we got a bunch of them. What in the world? Sorry, everyone. I just saw the damage. They tried to steal my work car again, and the cops just left. Grand Pito Vic, man. That's what I thought. You got a car that looked like a cop car to keep that from happening. More registrations just came in. Actual question. If the car is on one of my channels, can I bring it? Foggy wants to push the VW for the second channel. Yeah. You can bring whatever car you like. The whole point of the No Name 500 is that we get people to invest in the community, and they all go through that initiation process of earning their 500 subs and mixing and mingling with the community. And I stand by that. This guy right here, Grand Pito Vic, he's a product of that. He did it, and that's why he's here. Because this is about community, not just cars. Man, they just keep coming in. The registration tonight's almost like what happens when we open on New Year's. Well, sorry they tried to boost your car, but glad it didn't happen. You know, the ultimate anti-theft device for these young people stealing cars is just put like a 3 on the tree in there. Like no one could ever steal that 62 Lancer Diecast Dreams Garage. I mean, nobody could, or Diecast Dreams, no one could steal that thing. How many people, I mean, in this chat, there's a lot of people who can, but how many people can drive a bolt action, right? Maybe I got 59. Well, I'll tell you what, though, registration numbers aside, you keep your car numbers as long as you're re-registered by Labor Day. So you keep your car numbers. You know, you think that's funny. I wonder what % of people can drive a manual transmission now. I bet not 5 or 10% of motorists can even drive one anymore. Colleen can drive a 3 on the tree. I would expect Colleen can drive a 3 on the tree, though. Old McDonald said, hook up 3 coils in series and ground to the door handles. If you want to see some exciting living, yes. Oh, man, 3 coils? Man, one of them's bad enough. What are you trying to do? Make someone pee their pants? 3 coils? That'll put somebody on the ground, man. Tony says, I could have a 3rd register. How would you get it there? You have like one of those carriers that goes above the truck, too? Or get you a 45-foot trailer? It's official. Sir Rats-a-Lot versus the Honey Badger at No Name Nationals 2025. That would be a good-looking race. That would make a great photo. Gosh. Also raced a 3 on the tree at No Name Nationals. Yep. Didn't drive an automatic all summer. Yep. A whole lot of summers I never drove an automatic. How many can use a rotary phone? Yeah, a lot of young people could never use that. No, you're right. Vic says, gave my millennial neighbor a ride, and he was astounded like I was operating the space shuttle. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, for real. You could get a 3 on the tree in a Ford truck as late as 1986. They came with them. Then when they went to that acrylic headlight Ford, that was gone. But through 86 had that, which is awfully late for a 3 on the tree. 4-car wedge behind the Freightliner. Yeah, that's how you'd have to do it. Gosh, Tony. Well, you know, if you bring 3 and you got a 4-car wedge, you ought to make you a little bit of gas money bringing somebody else's car, because you could stick another car on there and probably make a win-win situation. You make a little money for your trip, and that person has the option to fly in something that maybe they can't drive. Six-pack syndicate and tunnel ram mafia all in one. Yeah, I've seen something like that. Dougster said the first vehicle he ever drove was his dad's 78 4x4 5-speed, 10 years old. Buff says we're registered. 3 on the tree in 86. Yeah, Ford ran it that late. Knew a guy that had one. Tony said, if I can find the right deal, I'll buy a 7-car stacker trailer. I got to tell you guys, if you see that, the deal's right, let Tony know, because, you know, that would be a plus just for this event, because, you know, if he has extra room on that trailer and can bring cars, I would totally trust him to bring a car from the West Coast out. That could be a good deal. It could help both of you. It could be a win-win. But those trailers aren't cheap. But he's got a CDL. He's got the truck to bring it. He's super confident and reliable. That's a guy that I'd like to see make that happen. And since Dougster brought it up, it's interesting. I think you're right. Tony. I think the price of steel and all that stuff's going to go down. It's going to help a lot. The price of trailers is way past general inflation. Way past it. So, yeah, that's got to help. Dougster brought it up. He said the first vehicle he ever drove was that Toyota, that 5-speed. What was the first vehicle you guys ever drove? Not necessarily what you learned to drive in or got your driver's license to your first car. We always ask what your first car is. I want to know what the first vehicle you ever drove was and how old you were. I'm curious. Drop that in the chat. Indirect Connection says the first vehicle I ever drove was an 86 Kenworth W900. Wow. 15 speed. I was 11. Yeah. Wow. And mine was a 85 Ford Escort, 4-speed manual steering. I couldn't quite figure out how to get the thing. I was 11 years old. Couldn't quite figure out how to get it moving until I did a burnout by accident. Then I figured, then I was good. Never liked the tree, loved the floor. I like to sleep on the floor. 2 Hacks wants to build a trailer for his rail. Yeah. Wait till the prices come down. Surely will be better. Vic says his first car he ever drove was a 79 Chevy Malibu when he was 8. But when you were 8, you were probably 6 feet tall and 300 pounds, right? When you were 8. Just guess. Old McDonald said a fire engine pedal car. Yep. NSB says he was 9 years old, drove a 79 Datsun King Cab pickup truck. Was it rusted out, or was that so early it wasn't? At least younger than me. He was probably rusted out then. B model Caterpillar and a 15. Love it. Yeah, okay. Clayton says 1980 Mustang when he was 15. Good choice. I actually like those 4-eyed early 80s, 79, 80 Mustang like that. Those are cool little cars. Colleen drove a 72 Chevelle when she was 16. 3-speed's bad because of the 1-2 shift being across the gate. Yeah, it is. It sucks, but it's a 3-speed is made to get there and back, not to race. Grandma Vic drove a 79 Plymouth Fury, first vehicle she drove. 2 Hacks was a 77 Nova. He was around 10 or 11. Buff says 57 Ford station wagon with a 292 and a 3 on the tree overdrive and 411 gears. Got to be the only person who knew what the gears were, but that's cool. Ron said VW Bug. Yeah. 59 Ford for 38 racing. Cope just got home from Chicago. Well, lucky you. Glad you made it home safe. Oh, hey, Cope, check it out. I got my new gangsta look. So instead of wearing the rings on every finger, see? Good look, right? Yeah, indeed. We're all welcoming Cope. It's like Cheers when Cope walks in. You know, it's like everybody greeting Norm, right? And there's a link to Cope's channel. Glad you're here. That second gear pull from a 3-speed is awesome. Yeah, I agree. It's practically a tractor transmission. Main Street Mopar, first vehicle he ever drove was a 2004 Dodge Ram when I was 14. How old are you? Man, you're a youngin'. Gosh. Heavens Mopar Scott's is Tony. I had an upper section of a multiple car hauler delivered last weekend to make a ramp truck out of the 70 Dodge L700. Wow. Dust Devil says 76 Ranchero painted neon yellow. I was 13. That sounds very Dust Devil. I'm glad you like that, Cope. Dutch Vornik says 63 Chevy 2 300 wagon when he was 10. Right on. Yes, and we'll be going over to Tony's in just a few minutes. Just in a few minutes. We'll be wrapping up here and then head over to Tony's. And since we got a bunch of people in here watching, if there's anybody by chance who does not happen to have a pair of these, if you don't have a pair of these, just email me and I will send you a pair. And I'll drop my email in the chat. This is the off season. We're just giving the stuff away. So if you don't have a pair of those stickers, let me know. We'll hook you up. And you never know. Occasionally we give away more stuff in here too. We like to try to give away, whenever we put something new in the shop, we give it away. And we're going to have hats in the store. So we had hats. We debuted our hats at No Name Nationals. We're going to have another run of hats in the store. As soon as we get them from Gunslinger Graphics, of course, they're going to do our hats. But as soon as we get them, we'll give one away. 57 Ford was his father's car. He knew everything about his cars. Yep. My dad had a 57 Ford. Before my time, though. When I was born, our family car was a 68 Falcon. Cope needs to check his vehicle for bullet holes now. Cope can return fire. Diecast Dreams is going to go make spaghetti with Mo. Cool. I had spaghetti for lunch. I took Mom to Olive Garden for lunch. Had a little bit of spaghetti, a little bit of lasagna, some pasta visual, breadsticks. It's good stuff. First 3-speed I drove was a 79 F100 with a 4 on the floor. How do you drive the first 3-speed you drove was a 4 on the floor? I think you mean it was a 3 on the floor. 71 LTD when he was 10. That's a cool car. Wow. So how tall were you? Could you even see over the dash in that thing? Because the hood is 1.5 miles long. I want to know name national. Oh, cool. So email me. Email me and you'll get a pair of them in the mail. Simple as that. Obviously with an address to send them to. It's so funny because when people win T-shirts and stuff, they're so excited they won. They'll email me and say, "Hey, man," and they'll tell me where to send it. And always forget to give me the size and what color. So I'll get 1 or 2 more emails with the size and the color. But yeah, just email me, Grand Pito Vic. I'll send you a pair of stickers. Dizzy says, I'm in. Well, cool. Don't use the granny gear. Usually that's right. I don't know what horse crap goes with, but okay. 6'3". Yes, you're probably a tall kid and could see over that. Anybody who does not have a No Name National sticker, they're a very durable sticker, which is true. These are actually, really high-grade outdoor vinyl. These are not cheap stickers, and these are made in America. These are printed in Christiansburg, Virginia by a dude named Kevin. These are not foreign sourced. And if you want something that's not on a background, that's a 6-inch sticker. If you want like an outdoor type decal, we got these too. These are 8-inch decals, no backing, same kind of vinyl. And these are good. We got them in the store. But those are great too. It just depends what you're putting them on. If you're putting it like on your car body or something like that, like a tailgate or whatnot, you probably want this. If you're putting it on, say, toolbox or something like that, you probably want that. But they're both outdoor rated. Yep, Jason's got to get up in 6 hours. Yeah, hey, we're at our time. So, yeah, I'm just goofing around, and Scott does his first car, 65 Dart GT. RC Industry, glad to see you sneaking in here. So Tony goes live next. I'm going to plug this real quick, and I'm going to get out of here. We'll go over to Tony's. If you do not have one of these and want them, you have 1 hour and 59 minutes to get it. So this is the special edition No Name Nationals 2024 shirt. Tells you all you need to know about why we do it and what we're in it for right here. So these shirts, we're doing one more run, and the ordering closes in 1 hour and 58 minutes. And if you want to talk to the guy who does these shirts, you can go to his live right now. Tony's Hot Rod Garage. He's on right now. So you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Oh, now I got this fun part. But y'all have a good weekend.